Hello, I'm Randy Floyd. I'm the president of Aframe Wind Kits, and I'm the inventor of the Wind Cheeta Wind Kit for Aframe campers. Today I'd like to show you an installation of a Wind Cheeta and show you how simple it is. The only tools you'll need is a common ratchet and a socket that is a 1/2 inch socket that fits the nuts, the bolts that come with it. Also, the only other tool you'll need is a drill, a common drill. And now I'm going to walk you through the critical measurements and such for the Wind Cheeta. You receive the Wind Cheeta, it'll come in a, if it fits, it ships box just like this. It'll come with directions, all of the necessary hardware to install, and you receive 2 of these units. You have a right and a left. How you determine the right and left is you're going to install it with the name right side up. Now, first thing you want to do is open up the package and to familiarize yourself with all of the various parts that are for the installation. You have 4 nylon washers, you have 4 metal washers, you have 4 brass bearings, and you have 4 common self-tapping bolts. Okay? Now, you ask yourself, where do I drill to install this? That's very simple. This is a critical component. This is where the roof latches the top when it's down. The manufacturers don't always put these in the same place on every camper. Sometimes they're this way, sometimes they're that way. So without knowing the location of this latch, I recommend that you give me a call, and my phone number is in the instructions, and I'll walk you through what to do getting around this latch. The second thing that you will run into is on this rivet, oftentimes the manufacturer will put a cover, a plastic cover over this rivet. Now, if I can get my photographer to zoom over here to this corner, I'll show you one of these little covers. This is one of the covers right here. And they put them over these screws to make them look more aesthetically pleasing. To remove this cover, you simply take a screwdriver and slide it under the edge of it and then pop it off, just like that. And then you'll find a bolt or a rivet underneath the hole. This will look like this when you have one on your camper. It'll look just like that. You can simply pop it off, and then you'll find a rivet or a bolt underneath. Now, you want to locate your Wind Cheeta to the left of this latch with the ability for it to rotate without bumping this rivet. If you have that cover on that rivet, then that cover has to be removed. It won't hurt anything, but I do recommend that you put some caulk around that rivet or bolt once you do remove it. But this is the ideal location. Is you want to have this, the right side of it, adjacent to this, so that as the roof panel goes up and it goes down, this rotates. This is how it will be in the folded position like the camper is right now. As you raise the roof up, this will rotate like that. It has to be able to rotate freely. You don't want this button to interfere. If you do not want to remove the button, if you want to leave the button in place, or if the latch is in a place that doesn't allow you adequate space, you simply go to the right of it and pick a place where it will rotate without hitting the latch. If it hits the latch, that's not acceptable. It has to be where it can rotate without striking this latch. Now, next thing is, where do I drill? I don't know if you can see these there's 2 little lines on the top. That middle line is where you're going to drill. There's the top of the unit, there's a line, there's another line, and this middle line, that's where you're going to drill. If you don't see these lines, one thing you can do is simply take a nickel and lay it up here with the top of the nickel, even with the top of the thing, and drill right through Washington's ear. With his head up here, you drill right through Washington's ear. That's where you would drill. Okay, now that we understand where we're going to drill here for the mounting of the unit, let's get the drill and start drilling. We simply take the drill, Alright, we got a hole drilled in there. Now let me show you how to assemble the bearings and such. This is critical. There's a nylon washer. It goes between the unit and the camper. The bushing, it goes through the hole, and your metal washer goes on your bolt, and that in turn goes through, and this is what it looks like. This is how it looks when you got it assembled properly. Then you take some Loctite and put it on the threads. Let's talk a second about Loctite. These are typical components. This is a Permatex brand red Loctite. This is a Loctite brand red Loctite. This is a Loctite blue thread locker. The thing that you want to be sure of, the only thing that you want a Loctite that is permanent, not removable. Permanent, not removable. So if you look on either of these packages, it says high strength thread locker. Locks, does not allow it to be removed. That's what you're looking for. In the Permatex brand, it's red. In the Loctite brand, you see it says heavy duty, automotive industrial, and this is the permanent. In the blue it says removable. You see where it says removable? You don't want to use removable. You want to put it on where it'll stay on. So anything you see says that removable or for disassembly, you don't want to use that. Okay? So we'll take a little Loctite, and you put a little bit of Loctite on the threads. And you stick it in your hole, and you take your ratchet and you simply tighten. Now, when you're tightening this, make sure that the bushing is going through the hole on the nylon bearing and not caught up on top of the nylon bearing like that where it'll cut it in two. You want to make sure the bushing is going through the hole. Okay? So, with checking, we do have the bushing going through the hole, and you snug this up. You don't over tighten it, because if you over tighten it, you'll strip out the aluminum. That's all it is to this one. It moves freely. That's what you want. Next you say, okay, where do I mount this in? There's a big black rubber strip that's about 2.5 inches wide. You want to be behind this strip. That's the only critical thing. It can be 1 inch, 2 inch, whatever, but I like to mount them about 2 inches behind the black rubber strip. Again, find that little line that I was talking about. You have the top of the unit, and then you have two lines right in the middle. That's where we're going to drill. So we take the drill. All right, we got us a hole drill. Same exact assembly. Use the bolt, the metal washer, the bushing, and then the nylon washer goes between the lug and the camper. Put the bolt through, put some Loctite on the threads, and you simply screw it in. I'm using a ratchet that is a very inexpensive ratchet I bought from Harbor Freight Tools, and if you've got a really nice ratchet that works better, I'm going to tell you this is a very, very inexpensive ratchet. I'm showing you how I bought a whole tool set for $9, and this ratchet is very, very cheap and inexpensive. And so if you've got a better ratchet, it'll work a lot simpler. Okay, there we are, and it's snugged up. And that's the installation. That's what it looks like. This will go up inside of the unit when you fold it down. When you raise it up, it extends automatically. If the wind blows, it catches. If the wind subsides, it allows it to go again, and that's the extent of the installation. It's very, very simple. If you have any questions, please call me at my phone number on the instructions. Thank you. Now you repeat for the other side, the exact same procedure. Thanks.